The rain had stopped, the trophy was in her hands, and halfway around the world, an entire nation that had stayed up through the night erupted in celebration. But what happened next left everyone speechless. The president of the Philippines stepping forward to honor a 21-year-old who had just done what no Filipino had ever done before. On Monday, August 3, 2026, Eala did what no Filipino, man or woman, had ever done before. She defeated world no. 3 Jessica Pegula 4-6, 6-4, 6-0 to win the Mubadala DC Open, capturing her first WTA Tour singles title and becoming the first Southeast Asian to win a WTA 500 tournament. But the victory was anything but straightforward. The final began on Sunday, August 2, under the sweltering Washington humidity. Pegula, the top seed and 2019 Washington champion, made the stronger start, converting 2 of 3 break points to take the first set 6-4. Eala, however, was just finding her rhythm. She emerged with renewed purpose in the second set, winning all 7 points played behind her first serve and edging ahead 2-1. Then the rain came. Thunder rolled. Lightning crackled near the Rock Creek Park Tennis Center. With Pegula preparing to serve at 6-4, 1-2, the players were forced off the court. The resumption was pushed back hour after hour, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. At 9:06 p.m. local time, the announcement finally came. Play was canceled for the day. The final would resume on Monday. For Eala, the delay was a test of mental fortitude unlike anything she had faced before. She had walked off the court at 4 a.m. Manila time, trailing a set but with all the momentum in the world. Now she had to spend an entire night regrouping, thinking, preparing. When play resumed at midday on Monday, Eala came out with a ferocity that caught Pegula completely off guard. The Filipino won the second set 6-4, breaking Pegula's serve at crucial moments. But it was the third set that will be remembered for generations. A bagel. 6-0. Eala didn't just beat Pegula, she dismantled her. She overwhelmed the American with relentless aggression and unwavering confidence, winning 6 straight games to secure the biggest victory of her career. She was clinical behind her first serve, winning 84.4% of those points to Pegula's 56.5%. She converted 4 of her 9 breakpoint chances and won 79 of the 140 points played. I've worked really hard and, oh my gosh, winning a 500 is insane, Eala said after the match. At the beginning of the week, there's no way I would have thought that I would be holding this trophy. The significance of this victory cannot be overstated. Eala joined Barbora Krejcikova as the only player in recent years to defeat the top 3 seeds en route to a title. She had beaten Olympic champion Zheng Xinchen, defending champion Leylah Fernandez, world number 10 Elina Svitolina, former world number 1 Naomi Osaka, and finally, the world number 3. She now shares the WTA Tour lead with Elena Rybakina and Svitolina with 7 top 10 victories this season. She avenged her heartbreaking loss to Pegula in the 2025 Miami Open semifinals. She climbed 8 places to a career-high world number 20. She did what no Filipino had ever done before, and a nation that had stayed up through the night to watch was finally able to celebrate. The rain had stopped in Washington, but in the Philippines something far more powerful was just beginning. As Eala lifted the trophy on Monday afternoon in Washington, it was already past midnight in Manila. But that didn't stop a nation of 110 million people from staying awake. In homes, cafes, sports bars, and online watch parties across the country and around the world, Filipinos gathered to witness a moment they had been waiting for. A moment many had never thought they would see in their lifetime. Watching her at this hour feels different. It was worth it. That's what one fan told GMA News after staying up through the night. The overtime at work and the long hours writing pleadings were all worth it because we got to witness Alex win. Another supporter admitted she wasn't even a tennis fan. But none of that mattered. I feel like if she wins this, it's a huge achievement for us Filipinos, she said. The scenes were electric. Sports bars in Metro Manila overflowed with fans who had gathered to watch Eala complete her rain-delayed final. Social media exploded with every point she won. The chants of Eala echoed not just through the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center, but through homes and streets thousands of miles away. Online quote cards bearing the phrase embroidered on her visor, "Kapag lumago, hindi nahihinto," nas flooded social media accounts of Filipinos here and abroad. She's not just winning, she's uniting an entire nation. That's the reality of what Alex Eala has achieved. Her victory has transcended tennis. It has become a moment of collective pride, a reminder that Filipinos can compete with and triumph over the world's finest through discipline, perseverance, and excellence. The Washington Times called her Alexandra the Great. The WTA, in a social media post, wrote, "All aboard the Eala Express." But for millions of her fans back home, including young girls, with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks, she has become something far more profound. A hero. A symbol of what is possible. A source of inspiration from a nation that has long been focused on basketball or boxing. And Eala has taken notice. To all my supporters, thank you guys. Thank you to all my supporters, especially the Filipino community here in DC, back home, and wherever you are in the world. I really feel all the love, Eala said in her on-court interview. Those words, delivered with the same grace and humility that has defined her entire career, captured the moment perfectly. Eala understands that she carries more than a racket when she steps onto the court. She carries the hopes of a diaspora, the dreams of an entire nation, and the responsibility of being the first to break through. The celebration in Washington had barely subsided when the news reached Malacañang Palace, and within hours, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. had already made his move. At 2 a.m. Manila time on Tuesday, August 4, 2026, while Eala's final was still being celebrated across the globe, the president took to social media to deliver a message that would electrify an already ecstatic nation. Lama does it again, he posted on his official Facebook account. The Lama just now has its first asatam at the tamaman. The president's words were not just congratulatory. They were a declaration of national pride. Congratulations on yet another historic achievement. You continue to redefine what is possible for Philippine tennis and inspire countless young Filipinos to dream without limits, he wrote. He ended with a message that resonated across the archipelago. Nas. Dies. Nice. This wasn't the first time President Marcos had honored Eala. Just weeks earlier, on July 13, 2026, he had conferred a presidential citation on the 21-year-old at a special homecoming reception at Malacañang Palace, following her historic Wimbledon run. At that event, he spoke of her with profound admiration. You have brought such pride to the Philippines, to the Filipinos, and not only because of your success, but also because of the grace with which you handle that success. Because the way you play and the way you comport yourself makes us proud. Because you show the greatest, best qualities of Filipinos. So, you remind us why we are a great race. The president also noted that Eala never fails to remind everybody that you are a Filipina. It was a recognition of something deeper than athletic achievement. A recognition of Eala's unwavering commitment to her identity and her country. Eala, in turn, was visibly moved. Standing before the President and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos in the ceremonial hall, she admitted to a rare moment of nervousness. I have to confess, I normally do not get very nervous when I have to talk. But today is an exception. I'm pretty nervous. Her words revealed a young woman who understood the weight of the moment. I feel very seen. Hearing that come from you, I feel like all the hard work that I've done is seen. All the hours that aren't on TV are seen and validated and appreciated. She ended her speech with a declaration that has since become a rallying cry for her generation. Lubos, kopong ipinagmamalaki ang pagiging Pilipino. I carry the flag with me wherever I go. And I am a firm believer that where you come from is a big part of who you are. Now, after the DC Open victory, President Marcos had once again answered the call. His message was not just a personal congratulations. It was a promise of continued support, a recognition that Eala's achievements are not just hers, but the nation's. And it signaled that the highest office in the land was paying attention to the tennis star, who had captured the heart of the Philippines. For Eala, the president's words were more than just a social media post. They were validation. They were a reminder that her journey, from the Rafa Nadal Academy to the WTA podium, has been watched, celebrated, and cherished by the nation she represents. And they set the stage for the next chapter of her remarkable story. If there was ever proof of the unifying power of sports, it happened on Tuesday, August 4, 2026, at the Philippine Senate. The Senate impeachment court was in session. The trial of Vice President Sara Duterte was entering its 12th day. The atmosphere was tense, prosecution and defense locked in heated arguments. This was a body defined by division, a chamber where opposing sides rarely agreed on anything. And then something remarkable happened. Presiding Officer Francis Chiz Escudero paused the proceedings. He called for attention, and he delivered a message that stopped the entire chamber cold. Even though our views may differ, and although both sides are opposing each other in the impeachment court, there are things we should all agree on and unite behind. Especially for those who stayed up late last night watching TV, Escudero said. For me, one of those is the victory and championship of our talented and courageous fellow Filipino, Alex Eala, at the DC Open. The Senate impeachment court broke into applause. Senator judges, prosecutors, defense lawyers, the entire chamber united in a moment of collective pride. Escudero, on behalf of all senator judges and the opposing parties, offered a collective congratulations. We are all truly proud of and celebrate you. Congratulations, Alex. He couldn't resist a joke, adding, so if any senator judge looks sleepy, they probably stayed up watching. 4 separate resolutions were filed in the Senate on that same day. Sen. Joel Villanueva filed Senate Resolution number 554, calling Eala's triumph one of the greatest achievements in the history of Philippine sports. Sen. Bam Aquino filed Senate Resolution No. 560, highlighting that Eala defeated an Olympic gold medalist, a Grand Slam champion, and several top-ranked players during her title run. Sen. Erwin Tulfo filed Senate Resolution No. 565, describing Eala's triumph as a defining moment of national pride. And Sen. Robin Hood Padilla filed Senate Resolution No. 566, noting Eala's rare feat of defeating all 3 medalists from the 2024 Paris Olympics in separate tournaments. Alex Eala's success is the success of the entire Filipino nation, Padilla said. The impeachment court wasn't the only venue for celebration. Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian delivered a floor speech congratulating Eala and thanking her for inspiring Filipinos during challenging times. Alex has given us inspiration that if we unite and persevere, there is no challenge we cannot overcome, he said. Sen. Francis Kiko Pangilinan called for the government to invest more in grassroots sports programs, noting that Eala's success highlights the need for the government to prioritize sports development by strengthening grassroots support, building modern sports facilities, and providing greater assistance to Filipino athletes like Alex. Sen. JV Ejercito echoed that call, saying Eala's victory highlights the importance of sustained investments in sports development. Sen. Jinggoy Estrada, who had already filed 3 previous resolutions honoring Eala's career, released a statement saying, Alex is not only winning championships, she is creating a legacy. Politicians from all sides of the aisle were united. The impeachment court, a body defined by division, paused its proceedings to celebrate a 21-year-old tennis player. Lawmakers who couldn't agree on anything else agreed on this. Alex Eala had made the nation proud. The Senate floor was no longer just a place of political debate. It was a celebration of a champion who had done what no Filipino had ever done before. When Alex Eala lifted the trophy in Washington, she didn't just win a tennis tournament. She became something far more profound. A symbol of what the Philippines can achieve when talent meets opportunity, when hard work meets belief, and when a nation finally has a hero to call its own. The legacy of a champion Senator Joel Villanueva, in his resolution honoring Eala, described her victory as one of the greatest achievements in the history of Philippine sports. This was not hyperbole. For a country that has produced world-class boxers, basketball players, and even beauty queens, tennis had always remained elusive. The Philippines had never had a WTA champion until Alex Eala. With this historic triumph, Eala became the first Filipino to win a WTA Tour-level singles title, marking a milestone never before achieved by any Filipino tennis player in the Open era and firmly establishing her place in Philippine sporting history. Villanueva's resolution stated, "The impact of Eala's victory extends far beyond the record books. It has sparked a movement, a grassroots awakening that promises to transform Philippine tennis for generations to come." The Grassroots Revolution Philippine Tennis Association, ILTA, Secretary General John Ray Tiangco has been watching the phenomenon unfold with growing excitement. Eala's success, he says, has introduced tennis to a wider audience and inspired more young Filipinos to take up the sport. More importantly, she has inspired Filipinos. Even those who don't play tennis are inspired by what she has done. That is because of her character. She is very proud to be Filipino, Tiangco said. The Federation is now focused on creating more opportunities for women to pursue professional careers in tennis. PILTA Executive Director Antoinette Mendoza explained, "Actually, what we're doing right now, first of all, is just increasing the local competition because there have been no women's tournaments maybe for the past 15 years. What we are doing is just making it worthwhile for these girls to play tennis professionally." Eala herself has been a vocal advocate for grassroots development. "Growing up, it was tough. You didn't have anyone from where you're from to pave the way," she said in an interview after her Miami Open breakthrough. "I hope this takes Filipino tennis to the next step." The next generation, the seeds of Eala's legacy are already being planted. Across the Philippines, young girls are picking up tennis rackets for the first time. They are watching Eala's matches, studying her technique, dreaming of one day following in her footsteps. And they are seeing something they had never seen before, a Filipina standing on the WTA podium, holding a trophy, representing them. Sen. Kiko Pangilinan, in his statement honoring Eala, captured the sentiment perfectly. More importantly, this victory highlights the need for the government to prioritize sports development by strengthening grassroots support, building modern sports facilities, and providing greater assistance to Filipino athletes like Alex. The Senate resolutions filed in Eala's honor all called for the same thing, investing in the next generation. Sen. Ejercito urged the government to use Eala's victory as a catalyst for improving sports development programs and expanding opportunities for young Filipino athletes. Sen. Pangilinan called for developing athletes' access to sports science, mental health programs, and nationwide talent identification initiatives. The legacy of excellence Eala's victory is more than a personal achievement. It is a testament to the power of hard work, perseverance, and unwavering belief. It is proof that Filipino athletes can compete with and triumph over the world's finest through discipline and excellence. But for Eala herself, the victory is not the finish line. It is a reminder that there is still more to accomplish. "I still have so much motivation to become a better player, become a better person," she has said. "Tennis is such a humbling sport. I look back at how far I've come or where I come from, and I've come a long way." What does this victory mean for Alex Eala? For Philippine tennis? For the millions of Filipinos who now believe that anything is possible? The answers to those questions will unfold in the years ahead. But one thing is certain. Alex Eala has changed Philippine tennis forever, and the nation that celebrated her victory is ready to follow her on the next chapter of her journey. The question remains, what comes next for Alex Eala? The Canadian Open awaits. The US Open looms on the horizon. The future is limitless, and the Philippines will be watching every step of the way. Alex Eala has done what no Filipino had ever done before. She has won a WTA 500 title, defeated the world number 3, and united a nation in celebration. From the impeachment court to Malacañang Palace, from the Senate floor to living rooms across the Philippines, the nation celebrated a victory that transcends tennis. Alex Eala is more than a champion. She is a symbol of hope, a source of inspiration, and the beginning of a new era for Philippine sports. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you the biggest stories in tennis, drama, and emotion every single week. Don't miss what happens next.